to the channel for 8-bit TCG. My name's Andrew, and I got top 64, or I guess made the Genesys Invitational Day 2 tournament at YCS Pittsburgh this weekend. And I did it with a deck that I initially thought was dead after I saw the YCS points update. Kind of did some testing, realized that maybe it's not so dead, and then went to the event and realized maybe we need to do more work with this. So I played pure Mitsurugi. This deck took a lot of hits on the most recent list, number one being Habakiri to 100, which basically means for this deck that you can't play it because if you don't play Ritual, Habakiri is not a one-card combo, even if you play nothing else. So you basically have to choose between Ritual and Prayers, which are 51 each. And for this build, I did choose to play Ritual. So keep that in mind. That's our main card that we're dealing with here. So I'm just going to go through the deck. So yeah, we'll get right into it. So the first cards I played were the Rituals. So because we don't have Habakiri, we kind of increased the count a little bit. So I'm up to 3 Murakumo, 2 Futsu. You basically just need to have names. You have a few different ways to access the Ritual spell. So I want to make sure I had enough monsters as well. There's maybe a world you go 2 and 2 or 3 and 1 if you want to do a bit more high rolly. Like if you change some ratios in the deck, you want to add more engine. That could be both Ritual spell or monster. But basically, we need to see these cards. These are our win con this time of the game. But I'll just talk about like the main goal of this deck. I mean, the reason to play this deck is Murakumo. Even in like current format for Yu-Gi-Oh, Habakiri is not what wins you the game. It's Murakumo, and we still have that win condition here and 0 points for Genesys. But getting to it is the hard part. Habakiri makes that easy. If we don't have it, you have to find new ways. So this deck, basically, the whole point of this deck: summon Murakumo, set cards, triggered every turn. You have to try and do that. So we want to have this card. Next, we kind of have the main deck guys. So the Power Rangers, you call them. So 3 Saji. I'll just go through all 3 Aramasa and 1 Kusanagi. So Saji, because we have all these ways to get the Ritual monsters, we need to see Ritual. So it's kind of similar to what this deck used to do pre-Habakiri, where you could play, you want to get Saji, you want to get Ritual, you just resolve that every turn. One of the things that makes Saji a little weaker in this deck is the fact that it can't represent a monster, so it can't be prayers like it can in Standard. So it kind of just searches Ritual. So if you have another way to get Ritual, then this card's a little dead, so there's maybe a world where you can change that. With Aramasa, again, this card is not one-card combo, so we're trying to assemble both halves of the combo. So we want to ideally have either Ritual monster or Ritual spell in hand, and search the other. Then we can resolve Ritual from Murakumo, which usually means the end of the game, if we get to resolve this. So that's still strong. So we're just trying to max out in consistency. We lost a lot of starters, so 1 Kusanagi, there was a world I played 2. After playing the event and the amount of times that I draw the singular Kusanagi in my hand, I would never play more than 1. This card is such a brick. And I did see it in both my hands in my top 64 match. So I wouldn't play less, but he's annoying to see. He's the mark of a bad hand if you draw. We play the 1 Wosu. For Genesis specifically, having a searchable kaiju like this, that's also an extender going second, is really, really good. This card is such a toolbox. Like a lot of decks, like Towers decks in this format, just outing things are so hard to out for other decks. Wosu does it. It's an 8 body. It adds itself back, and one thing that we're missing in this deck, because there's no prayers, is the ways to tribute our dudes from hand. So all of our small guys and our Rituals, we have issues getting them out of the hand. So Wosu does that for us, and it also outs a body and puts a monster in field. So it's very strong. I side another, but 1 in the main for sure. Now into some of the cards that we use to get to these Ritual monsters. So one of the ones that kind of makes sense is Manju. So Manju is kind of both halves. Like he can either be Murakumo / Futsu, or he can be Ritual or Mirror. So he's a premium normal summon in this deck because he's just whatever you don't have. And also he doesn't take up the effects of your Saji or your Aramasa, which you can then later send off of Ritual to trigger to get more value. So Manju's, you kind of always want to see him. Very good. 1 point for some reason, but we'll pay that cost. Next up is kind of the spice for this deck. I was trying to find ways in the game that exist to add Ritual monsters and spells to hand without using your normal summon. And kind of what we stumbled upon was this. So it's the Impcantation package. So Basically, this card is Habakiri at home. We don't have it, so we gotta do what we can do. Um, this card represents, if you draw just Chalice Line, either a ritual monster or a ritual spell by summoning from deck. So it basically just gives us more consistency. It's whatever half we need. The weird thing about this deck for synergy-wise is you can't really tribute the incantations for anything. They're just kind of the wall. Like, they don't really do much. You can tribute them for Magatama, that's basically it. So all these are is consistency pieces. Another thing too, this deck, I'm gonna go through quickly, but it doesn't use the extra deck. So them on field blocking from the extra deck doesn't really matter. Maybe there's builds this deck you can play with Night Sword Serpent that like make a rank for. I was doing that for a bit, like make a giant hand or something. But it's not really, that's another brick you put in your deck and you already have so many. So it's hard to justify. But I'm playing 2 Talismandra because you get to see, like if you open a Talismandra on the Chalice line, either way, you get to basically do a full card combo into your, like you get to summon the Candle and then summon the other Talismandra from deck. So you get to do the combo that way. Now into some of the engine requirements here, kind of requirements. So we're basically playing for the Mitsu cards. We're playing 2 Magatama, playing 3 pre-prep, Mirror, and Purification. And then also, you know, God card itself, Ritual. So basically, I did play 3 Magatama for a time. I still might play 3. It might change in the future. But this card is very strong going second. It allows you to trigger your ritual monsters in your opponent's turn, which now that we don't have prayers, because it's 51 and we don't play it, it kind of allows you to Murakumo on their turn. So kind of whenever you want, as long as it's in main phase. So it's a very strong card. Also helps break boards. If you like normal Saji and they try to interact with it, you can Magatama Tribute. Deal with it. Also, you can ritual summon on if you like kind of break, you like nib them, or you have some incantations on board, and you have Murakumo, you can Magatama Tribute. Pre-prep is 30 points for the 3. I think it's worth it. It gets you to mirror and any ritual monsters, so it's pretty strong. I think if we can find other ways to find ritual monsters or get consistency, there is a world you can probably cut these and play better non-engine. Because right now in engine, it's 30 for pre-prep, 51 for ritual, and then 3 for Manju. So you basically have 84 points there, just in engine. So you have 16 points to work with, which we use all of it, but it's not a lot to do for non-engine. So you have to play some weird stuff. 1 mirror, I played 2 for a while, because I didn't want to draw pre-prep mirror. But if you're getting to ritual, you don't really need this card because you don't need to do the 3rd ritual summon, because what are you summoning if Habakiri is not in your deck? So it's basically, there's a world where like you cut these, keep this in just as an extra, as a backup. But we'll see. And this card is just insane in this format. Purification is wild. If you set up Murakumo plus this, like, it's just so crazy. Because you have the Grave Effect for follow-up. You get a free trigger off of Murakumo. This is very strong. And then Ritual, point of playing the deck. Resolving this with Murakumo is your end goal. Now for the non-engine. So here's the rest of our points. There's builds this deck where I played 3 Nib, because Nib is just such a good non-engine in Mitsurugi. Because even if you get stopped or you tribute your own guys, you can just trigger them when they come back. So it's extremely strong for that. And it's not bad in this format either. One of the things that was a little weird is Pittsburgh, there's a lot of Radiant Typhoon, which I kind of expected. There's also a lot of Draco Tail. So maybe Nib's not the greatest non-engine, but for stuff like Archmage or greedy punk players, you know, it can come up or on a mat as well. And Mourner was kind of a tech for Radiant Typhoon. If they go for Crocia, you can just Mourner it. And it's only 6 points. So this brings up the rest of our 16 there, so that maxes us out at 100. And then for the free non-engine, we have Cosmic, and we have Econ. So I think, in my opinion, Cosmic is extremely strong in this format, especially with stuff like Draco Tail. It's very good, because this deck needs to outflame to win the game, because we need to resolve Ritual. So you can deal with that, and also like Radiant Typhoon. You can deal with the trap card, the MST negate on our ritual spell. So it just protects your ritual spell basically from being negated. This card was also extremely strong for me. This deck thrives off tributing during my turn, my opponent's turn, and it also thrives off making sure your normal summon resolves. So some sort of interaction they have on it, you can econ to kind of dodge it, and also deal with whatever monsters they have on the board. So I think these would stay for sure in any version of the deck I play. They're extremely strong. Okay, so that's the main deck. I'm gonna quickly breeze through the extra deck, but I'm just gonna say I didn't use it once. So this is for Ultimate Slayer, which is in the side. I mean, you probably play like a pack bid if you wanted to, but those will probably stay the same. For rank 4s, just play a selection of them. I mean, I almost made like Exciton once, but it's tough. And basically, it only really comes up if you summon stuff off Futsu and it's like turn 3. So maybe Tornado Dragon to Flame or something before you go for a Ritual. So yeah, it's kind of just... They're just there for a toolbox. And then a couple rank 8s. This deck, sometimes you have issues if something can't be destroyed or targeted. Murakumo. If Murakumo can't out it, Ding can, usually. So it's good to have. And Grunix comes up sometimes. Just board wipe, spell trap, disruption. So it's pretty strong. For the side deck. This is the one I was kind of back and forth on. But I'll go through... This was for Radiant Typhoon. This card is good into Radiant Typhoon if you have Engine to follow it up, but you have to have Engine with it. Because if they can still trigger some cards, they can get some value, they can chain to it. So it's not auto-win, but it's very strong. So I had this in for going first. For going first as well, this card's very good. Yeah, I think it probably shouldn't be here, but this deck loses to Droll, and this deck doesn't lose to Shifter or Fissure or Macro. So this is just called by the grave for Droll. Opening going first, you activate all your cards. They can't interact with it. It's pretty cool. Another couple options here for going second. We played 3 Slayer, 2 Dark Ruler. This could be Gordian Slicer, but thought before the event maybe we'll just switch it for Dark Ruler. Sided an Ultra Slayer a couple times, but I never saw it. I think the card's good. It has like applications against stuff like Radiant Typhoon. It has applications against some Draco Tail matchups, that sort of thing. So it's not awful. I'd keep playing it for sure. Going second as well, I played another copy of Wosu. There's builds to this deck where I played 3, so I played 2 in the side, 1 in the main. Because you just want to see this card every game, going second. Like, this card is basically good in everything. It triggers your names in hand, it puts an 8 on field. Just you have to make sure that if you use this card going second, you have to use your Manju or your Incantations first. Because you lost into Reptile for the rest of the turn. So you use those cards, and then you Wosu, which can be a little awkward, but I still think it's worth it. Then last card I played the side was Vedas. So this card here is for basically just a medical. I think a lot of people understand that this card is good, so 0 points. Basically deals with Archmage on the field spell, deals with Punk. Basically they don't get 2 draws and an extender, depending on how they play it. Can deal with Odeon to negate their field spell. It's basically all these decks. It's just very good against. And this deck doesn't have the leftover points for a card like Ghost Ogre, so Vedas is the next best thing. So yeah, that's the deck. In the future, I'm going to look at some other cards like Chaotic Elements, which can search Child Slime, I believe, so it might give us some more consistency to do that. Also, might cut down on the engine a bit, maybe if we can find some room there, and just kind of not respect roll. But yeah, I think we'll see how this looks after the next point change. We'll see if they decide to reduce the points on Mitsurugi, but kind of doubt it. So we might just have to grind this deck out for a little longer. But yeah, thanks for watching. Shoutouts to 8-Bit for having this in the channel. And yeah, see you around.